Well, I just got back from RailsConf in Las Vegas, and thank you everyone who stopped by and said hi. Thank you for your encouraging words as well. You really make this podcast all worth it. Now in this episode, I want to show you 3 different tools for profiling your application, and these are all really designed to work in development mode. You have to be careful not to do too much performance analysis and optimization in development. You want to try to mimic your production environment as much as possible for performance optimization, but these tools can really help you determine what Rails is doing underneath the hood. Now, a couple of these are from commercial companies, but these tools I'm showing you are all free, and they're not paying me to demonstrate this at all. Now, the first one here is from New Relic. New Relic's mostly famous for its RPM, which is great for monitoring production applications, but what many don't know is that it also has an RPM developer mode, which you can use while in development to kind of profile your application and see what's going on. So to use this, we just have to run this command to install the plugin. And I'll just paste this command into here to install it. And once that's installed, just start up your application in development mode, and then explore your application a bit. Just click through a few pages, and then you can go to the New Relic URL to access the New Relic RPM interface. As you can see, here are the 3 requests which were processed and the time it took for each one of them. We can click on get the details for each of them, and then we can view and drill down any one of these sections to get more information on how long each individual section of the page took to render and so on. Very useful information here. And we can also check out the SQL queries to find out all the queries which took place, how long each of them were, and we can even click on the time to get and explain information to give us all the details of what exactly is going on in the query, and even the stack trace on where it was executed in the application. So a lot of useful information for profiling your app here. Now the next tool I want to show you is by 5 Runs, called TuneUp, and let's just install it. This one is in a gem format. So here I am in my environment.rb file, and here I want to just call config.gem 5 Runs TuneUp. And this will load up the TuneUp gem in my application. And then we can run the rake gems install command to make sure that that gem is installed for us. All right, now it's installed, so let's see how it works by starting up our server. So now when we load up a page in development, you can see we get this 5 Runs toolbar at the top here where we get more information about this request. We have our request time along with a breakdown of the various model viewer controller sections most of the code spent the most time in. So if we hover over this, then we get even more detailed information that breaks it down, saying, okay, here's various finds on the episode model, and we can click this to get a schema information about the episode model. And if we click this little magnifying glass here, we get information about the given SQL query that was performed on there. And we have this call to render, where most of our time was taking up, and we can scroll down here and gather more information about the rendering process. And if we click this little pencil here, we can open it up in TextMate, which is really nice because it takes us right to the spot in our view where that rendering took place. And then in addition to that, you have this login to share this run link where you can publish this request profile onto their website and share it either privately or publicly to gather input and feedback from other people on how to either optimize the request or maybe debug certain issues. Now the last tool I want to demonstrate is called RackBug. This provides another toolbar at the top, but it gives you a lot of information about the current request that is really useful for debugging and profiling. So let me show you this by just installing the plugin. And we'll just run this command inside of our application. And then he recommends creating an initializer file with this content inside of it. So let's do that right now. So let's create that initializer file called middleware.rb and add that content into here. Now, of course, you can change your secret key and password and all these other settings to whatever you want. I'll just change password to secret for now. Now once that's done, you can just boot up your development server and then head to a special path into here. You need to type localhost :3000 / rack bug _ / bookmarklet.html. And then here you get a nice link that you can drag into your bookmark bar to use to toggle rack bug on and off. And now we could try this out by going to our homepage again, clicking on the toggle rack bug bookmarklet, type in our password we specified in our config file, and then it says rack bug enabled. Great. So now we just have to reload this page here to see our bookmark or our rack bug toolbar at the very top here. And you can see we have a lot of tabs and panels here that we can click on to get a lot of information about our single request here. Now I'll leave it up to you to explore these, but a few of the cool ones is the queries, where we list all of our SQL queries. We can get the SQL query text, our explained syntax, and more information on that. And also we can list all of the count of each model that we have, and our templates. We can see how long each template took to render, and so on. Even our log file here, all the text in our log file, a lot of useful information that we can access through rack bug. And there you have it, 3 separate tools that you can use to help gather all the information you can about a single request while you're in development. This episode is sponsored in part by Pragmatic Screencasts. They offer high-quality screencasts on a variety of subjects, including Ruby and Rails. Check them out at pragmatic.tv. Also sponsored by RubyMine, a Rails IDE from JetBrains. It provides smart code completion, Rails refactorings, version control integration, and more. For a free 30-day trial, visit jetbrains.com/Ruby.